Starting a gym transformation can be a daunting task. Coming from a guy that's been in the gym for over 5 years, I understand the pains and struggles of being new in the gym. In this video, I'm going to instill the knowledge that I wish I knew at the start to make you have the most smooth experience possible while starting in the gym. First of all, it's all about setting realistic expectations, realistic goals by which you can achieve in a certain time span. Setting an unobtainable goal or something that's just unrealistic relative to who you are is only going to delay the process of a transformation. And when you lack the results to show, your consistency will start to follow, which is why you need to create a certain timeline to achieve all of these things. Gaining 10 pounds of muscle is not realistic in around below 3 months of a time span. So we need to start setting these boundaries and rules to understand who we are and relative to what goals we seek. So, for example, the goal is gaining 10 pounds of muscle and losing fat at the same time. Essentially a recomp. We can't first start anything without understanding the foundation: diet. A solid diet is your base, your foundation, your revitalization and reconstruction. Without a solid diet, everything falls from underneath, and muscle breaks down faster than you can build it. So what do we do to optimize these things? A hormone called cortisol will be released during and after training. To avoid the catabolism of cortisol during training, you have to start timing your rest in between sets. Knowing the intricacies of rest is so important for muscle because there are arguably so many studies proving that rest is more important than training, but less important than diet. Having adequate rest in between sets will allow you to push harder, and it will also lower cortisol. These two things are probably what a lot of people plateau on because you feel so fatigued in the middle of your workout. Having at least 1 to 3 minutes of rest in between sets and timing the exact time will allow your muscles to recover adequately, lowering cortisol and catabolism in between sets to where you're able to start to push more in the gym. Your diet will also affect the amount of cortisol released. Certain foods will increase your parasympathetic nervous system. This is the system whereby fight or flight is activated. Being in a sympathetic state is where you are relaxed and calm, and that is when your body is not catabolizing, your body is not using the nutrients in your muscles to actually survive, because the fight or flight state uses adrenaline, uses cortisol, uses all these hormones you need to generate. Being in a sympathetic state will allow your muscles to relax, will allow your body to focus on digestion, will allow your body to actually focus on what it needs to build the muscle. To be in a sympathetic state, you need to have the right amount of rest, eat the right foods, and get a right amount of sunlight, hydration, and have a healthy lifestyle. Getting the correct amount of amino acids and nutrients will allow you and your body to have less stress over time. Your body is like a building. The building blocks used to create your body are the amino acids and nutrient profiles of red meat. Now, why not chicken? Why not fish? Why not all these other things? Because red meat has the most abundant nutrient profile and most abundance in amino acids to help your body recharge, refuel, and rebuild. Being an extremely nutrient dense protein source that is packed with heme iron, which will allow you to have higher vasodilation, subsequently increasing your pumps and strength within the gym. Think of amino acids like a DNA process, right? They are like the key to the keyhole. The DNA and RNA within your body bind with these amino acids to construct things, to build. It's like having the cement to the cement pavement. Without the cement, you can't have the pavement. So we have to get these in somehow. Taurine, L-carnitine, creatine. All three of these are found within red meat, and many more. L-glycine, L-glutamine. All of these amino acids will be found in red meat. So that is why you need to be eating steak every single day. It is such a key food for muscle growth, muscle building, and not even just muscle building. Steak will also provide you with a good amount of saturated fats, which also is proven to help brain health, produce other hormones such as testosterone, estrogen, DHT, which are crucial for good muscular development. There's another vitamin called B12 in red meat, which is known to improve contractions in the gym, which is known to improve nerve health, which is known to improve motor function in your brain. And this is crucial for good movements and exercise within the gym. So we know the main food that will help us with our diet, red meat. This will increase vasodilation, contractions, mind-muscle connection, and best of all, help us with the building blocks of our body, the amino acids. Continuing on from the diet, the eating window is so important. The anabolic window is one of the most controversial topics to talk about because a lot of people say that it doesn't work, etc. This is not the anabolic window. This is what I like to call carb loading. Now, carb loading is a technique whereby you deplete your stores, aka glycogen stores within your blood, of carbs. Now, why would we do that? Aren't carbs the best for muscle building and strength? Of course. But if you're insulin resistant, your body cannot shuttle and utilize these carbs that are essential for muscle growth. The hormone insulin cannot transport the nutrients to your muscles via the blood. So therefore, timing and doing intermittent fasting every day, as well as not eating as many or excessive carbs on non-training days, will allow you to maximize the results of your pump in your training. Now, what foods should you eat, aka what carbs should you eat before you train then? Well, the best carbs are the quick release ones because they can get into the bloodstream and release the insulin that you are now sensitive to very fast. Foods like apples, bananas, kiwi fruits, honey, raw honey specifically because that increases testosterone, and basmati rice. All three of these foods will get into your bloodstream and release insulin very fast. So while you're insulin sensitive, all the nutrients you've eaten from the steak, from the red meat, will go into your muscles and you'll notice fuller pumps and better strength. This is good because this is essentially making your body into an efficient machine. Think of your cells and mitochondria as little fuel tanks. The carbohydrates before the training will be transported immensely faster than if you consume carbs every day in a high amount. Increasing your mitochondrial efficiency will not only allow you to burn the fat, like we said at the start of the video, but will also allow you to have way more energy during your workout. And overall, you'll have less intracellular water, which will mean you'll have less high blood pressure and be in a more sympathetic state during normal activities in life. Now, as for training, it's a mixed bag. What matters most is not actually the exercise, contrary to popular belief, but how you perform the exercise. Every chest exercise, for example, technically works the chest, right? It's how you perform, what you perform, how many reps you perform, how many reps in reserve you have, and how much weight you add. Now, I'm not going to be dogmatic and say you have to be doing 5 to 8 reps on your training days every day. Training for strength is good, but just training for strength, you're not going to build as much muscle as if you were to train for hypertrophy, aka 10 to 12 reps, using a medium weight of 30 to 40% of your 1 rep max. This can get the best of both worlds. You'll be able to train to proper failure, not just technical failure, and your body will be able to actually create new adaptations based off the weight and the amount of reps. Not just exploiting one, aka mechanical tension, but using time under tension, using lactic acid buildup, using all of these muscle breakdown techniques, which is what training is essentially achieving, will allow you to put on the most muscle, most strength, and the most size in the least amount of time. Keep in mind, having 1 rep in reserve is the most optimal thing, going to mental failure. Imagine how we survived as humans. We didn't just go to mechanical failure or technical failure. We went to mental failure to adapt. We were always in pain, and that's how we adapted as humans. As humans, we were always intentionally doing stuff, hunting, pushing past our limits, pushing past our mental limits and pain thresholds. Pushing past your pain threshold is one of the best ways to increase growth in the shortest amount of time. Contrary to what people say, all this science-based crap, most if not all the time, if you push past your pain threshold in the gym, you will get gains if you're eating correctly. Another thing that's crucial is making sure you're hydrated in between sets. If you are not hydrated in between sets, if you are not drinking electrolytes, you are leaving your potential on the table. There is so much water in our body, intracellular water, that can aid with strength, that can aid with fullness, that can aid with pumps, that can aid with your muscle growth overall. If you are not drinking in between sets, if you are dehydrated, you will be flat no matter what. This is why it's crucial to get some magnesium, potassium, and sodium supplements and put it in a 2-liter water bottle whilst you're drinking it in between your rest periods that we said previously. Overall, making sure you're intense in the gym, you're eating red meat, you're hydrating with potassium, magnesium, sodium, you're carb loading, you're timing your food windows, and you're resting adequately, you will gain muscle in the fastest amount of time you can and lose fat. Obviously, if you're not eating the correct foods, if you're not doing the correct things and you're always in a parasympathetic state, you will catabolize and you will lose muscle, no matter if you're in a calorie surplus or a calorie deficit. It's all about not being dogmatic and being a student of the weights. Not letting one opinion form all of your training, because what works for Joe doesn't work for Bob. So provided you're doing everything in this video, you should be able to put on the 10 pounds of muscle or whatever your goal is in around 6+ months as a realistic timeline. But as I always say, it's all about consistency. It's all about the domino effect. I don't believe in willpower or discipline. I believe in the game of being habitual. You build up these pathways in your brain that are connected to these habits. You will consistently do it. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't have to think about it. It's a subconscious thing you do every day. And the best way to do this is by deleting the old habits, working on destroying these old habits that are blocking you from adding these new habits. Our brain is only so big, so we can only do a certain amount of things subconsciously. Once you create a new identity and you break down these old bad habits and you bring in these new good habits for those bad habits, you'll essentially build new neuron cascades and you'll become a different person from that. By instilling these new habits and building muscle, you will definitely become a whole different person in the span of 6 to 12 months. Just make sure to be tracking your progress, and as always, take one step at a time. And that's the video, guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment down below what information you found very useful in this video. And as always, peace.